get ready for one more sale. Inspiring you with ideas through powerful and engaging interviews with top performers of their field. Now, join us as we discuss techniques and strategies of the coolest and most successful people on the planet.
It's David Hill here with One More Sale, Path to Mastery, episode number 27. Guys, again, we hit it. We nailed it with Todd Lemoine, brilliant agent, friend of mine, and client of mine out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. By the way, if you know people moving to Atlanta, they need to talk to Todd and his team. These guys are tremendous. Listen to this interview. Guys, in the last 4 years, he has doubled his business year over year over year from 5 million to 8 million to 17 million to this year tracking for 30 million. Yes, and he says, think of prospecting as a game because about 50%, guys, 50% of his business comes as a result of telephone prospecting. He says you need to think of it as a game and master that craft. Simple steps he's going to talk to you about today. Simply just being consistent, showing up daily, 2 to 3 hours every day, making those calls. Master that craft, guys. Mastering that craft. And then the follow-up process. And here's something I really want to put out there. You're going to hear Todd say it, and I think it's that important where I got to say it again, is you can sit in your office all day and make calls, but at some point you have to get out there and get in front of people, belly to belly. I absolutely love that. Bob Lucido said almost the exact same thing when I interviewed him a few months ago. So again, getting out there, getting out of the office, getting in front of people, being belly to belly. And Todd also did a tremendous role play. Guys, I put him on the spot. He had no idea he was going to be role playing. And he just nailed it. So you got to listen to this. This is as always, a tremendous interview. Share it with everybody. Give me your feedback. And guys, appreciate you and rock on. All right, well, today I'm with Todd Lemoine. Todd is not only an awesome mega agent and just a really cool guy, somebody I know and respect well. Todd is one of the clients I get the personal opportunity of coaching with. And the really cool thing you're going to hear about Todd is the fact that in the last 3 years, going on 4 years, he's been able to double his business. He went from 4 years ago, he was doing about 5 million. Next year, he did 8 million. Last year, he did 17 million. And this year, he's tracking for 30 million. So how's that? And then next year, we're looking at 60 million and then 120 million. Right, Todd?
Yes, sir.
Good. So how are things going for you, brother?
Going very well. Very well. Staying busy and just keeping our nose to the grindstone, growing our team, searching for talent every day.
Well, thank you, too, for spending some time with us. And I really just wanted to pick your brain. I find it really, really impressive when I see someone that's able to just consistently build on their business. Not just build it, but double it and make that type of growth. So that's awesome. Tell us, I know you're from Atlanta, Georgia. How long have you been in the business again? Fill in some of those blanks. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I ran one of the larger home inspection companies for about 15 years here I'm in Atlanta. And then 2011, I switched to sales and real estate. And then my first year, I was Rookie of the Year at the #1 Keller Williams office here in Atlanta.
How do you go from being a home inspector to getting a real estate license and being Rookie of the Year?
Very motivated. I have a fairly sizable family that I have to take care of. It just seemed like the right fit. It was time for me to change careers. It was a family-owned business. It just seemed like a natural fit, you know. It's because I've been in real estate. I knew all the top players in the area. I felt like I could help more people. Being a home inspector, I only was involved with a small part of the transaction. And there were many times I found the young homeowners in these houses they really shouldn't be getting involved with, and I just felt I could help more people by moving into the real estate agent role.
I'm wondering, too, I mean, do those skills that you acquired as an inspector help you in real estate to be more successful?
Yes, I haven't done a lot of buy-side of business. I went strictly to the listing side, but when I did do some buying, yeah, I would probably talk people out of buying a house more than I should have. You know?
Gotcha, okay.
But now it's like, just let the inspector do it.
All right, awesome. So let's get back to your business now. When we talk about, just continuing to double your business from 3 mil to 5 mil, to now 30. How do you do that? Like, what does that look like?
It's nothing glamorous, David, as you know. It's just grinding it every day, picking up the phones. And, when I came in as a real estate agent, I really had no idea what to do. And they just said, make phone calls. Great. Who do I call? I'm like, well, call expireds and FSBOs and whoever you can. What I started doing, and, I think Gary Keller says, you got to do something 10,000 times before you master it. And, I don't think I'm a master by any means, but I do think my skills have improved a little bit over the last 5 years. And that's it, man. Just 2 to 3 hours a day, every day, on the phones, trying to set appointments.
So you're on the phones 2 to 3 hours a day. You personally, do you have other people doing that for you as well?
Yeah, I still do it. And now we actually had a call night last night. I had 6 agents in there on my team with me making calls last night.
Oh, wow. And who are you guys calling? I mean, everybody. You're not just all calling expireds, right? And
No, we're calling internet leads. We're calling Sphere. We're doing circle prospecting, expireds and for sale by owners. Everybody and anybody we can get in touch with.
Awesome. Who do your buyer agents call? Are they calling the same people, or what does their calling look like?
We have a system that provides a large volume of internet leads that works pretty well for us. They turn out to be nurturing calls a lot of times, and then eventually getting them into the office for setting appointments. I mean, my buyer's agent this morning, we were calling, and it was her second call, and she had somebody show up at 11 o'clock this morning to do a buyer brokerage with her.
Oh, wow.
Good. Second week in the business is, it's pretty exciting.
That is exciting. It sounds to me like a big percentage of your business, Todd, does come as a result of phone calls. What percentage would that be?
I would say now we're getting a lot of, come list me's, a lot of people calling us back. So I would say probably now, this year, 50% of our business is coming just from prospecting, and the rest is, word of mouth, marketing, things like that.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense. So about 50% of prospecting. Yeah. So I'm curious, as probably a lot of our listeners are, to that transition, right? You're a home inspector. You didn't have experience calling on the phones. How long did it take you to kind of get that through? I guess the right words, maybe get comfortable with it, get to a place where you feel really confident. I mean, or was it just an easy transition for you?
Yeah, I mean, there was always days when, you would get all that massive amount of rejection. But me, I think of it as a game, going into it. It's really all about mindset. I had somebody here in Keller Williams tell me, he's like, look, you're not going to see the people in a grocery store. They're not going to point you out and say, oh, you're the guy that's harassing me or calling me, So I just really thought of it as a game. I mean, it took me a while to get the scripts down, and, I've always been searching for people like you that are very skilled at it and to hone my craft. So, I mean, it's just, you got to think of it as a craft, and take it as a game and don't take anything personally. But, I mean, definitely when I first started, there were several days I was like, oh, man. But, my big why is extremely important to me. And, it helped me push through.
Can you tell us a story of one, I'd love this, if you can think of like the most challenging call you've ever made to somebody?
Well, I think a lot of times in the initial calls, they don't work out the way you want, or they give you the objection and you're not prepared to handle it properly. But in the follow-up is really what wins the game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had plenty of calls where people hang up on me or cuss me out or, saying they report me to whoever they want to report me to. But you kind of laugh and build rapport with them. And I remember, like, one of the first years, this guy, he said, look, man, you've called me 8 times. He said, if I list with you, will you stop calling me? I was like, that. Absolutely. What time works best for you, 2 or 4 today?
Yeah. So. And I think you nailed it too, Todd, when you said that follow-up, because it's proven that about 70% of our results do come as a result of follow-up. Mm-hmm. It's proven. So there's 2 things I want to talk about. I do want to talk about your follow-up process. But when somebody says things like that, like, yeah, I'm going to report you, or don't call me, or take me off your list of those things, how do you deal with that?
Well, first, I mean, you got to be very polite with the people. Well, yes, ma'am, I'll do that. I'm sorry to bother you. It depends on, because, I mean, there's always things that you could say to, try to turn the conversation. I know a great way to make all these phone calls. You always get whether you're the 15th Keller Williams agent that's called me. But just smile and, be polite and just say, yes, ma'am, you're right. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bother you any longer, and just remove them off the list if they're that irritated with you,
Yeah. So you're just keeping a positive, upbeat mindset, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all it is.
I make these calls too, and I teach people how to make these calls, and I think one of the keys is to come at it from a place of real just contribution. Hey, I'm just here to help, and if I can't help you, at least I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to leave you in a worse place than before I called.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just calling to see what I can do to help you, and if it wasn't meant to be for me to help you, then I'm okay with that.
So give us a success story, Todd. I'd love to hear one of your success stories of it could be just a random call that turned into something awesome.
Well, I've had several of them. So I've had from expired and FSBOs calling over the year. I've had 1, 2, 3. I've had 3 expireds and 1 FSBO that I've turned into Keller Williams real estate agents over the years. And one of my favorites is one of my right very beginning. It was a FSBO I was calling way off suburb of Atlanta that I don't even really go to. And she's like, "Oh, you must be an angel. I was waiting for. We just need so much help selling this house." And it was like my first listing. It was a for sale by owner. So I was like, "I'm on it. Let's go." You know.
You just hit such an important point that I want everybody to get that's listening to this is the fact that it's a numbers game. So, if you call long enough, Todd, you're always going to hit that one person that, that's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The problem is most people will give up. They'll make 10 calls and get 10 no's and then say this doesn't work and give up.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's from all the coaching and training I've had, that's the biggest difference between extremely successful people and non-successful people is that most of the non-successful people have given up. You never know. I mean, you could be giving up right at that minute where you're fixing to break through the ceiling, and blow it out of the water.
Yeah, I love that. I tell people, don't ever leave the office on a negative call or a negative note. And I'll tell you, if you do that, 99.999% of the time, if you keep making calls, something really good is going to happen. But when you leave on a negative note, you go home, you bring that negative energy with you. It's just unproductive, my friend.
Yep, exactly. That's my buyer's agent this morning. She was like, I was at home. I got shut down all weekend. I was just really in a bad place. And she came in telling me, we were talking about the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off type thing. And then her third call, she nailed it. She was just, she went through the ceiling. And she signed the buyer brokerage, and she's out showing the lady property this afternoon.
Tell us about when you say the Miyagi wax on, wax off thing. What are you referring to?
So like the Karate Kid, where...
I know the movie, but what's the metaphor?
So, like you're telling me to do these things and nothing is happening. I keep waxing this car. I keep sanding this fence. And what are you teaching me? I got these people yelling at me, hanging up the phone. And also when I say, I would say most of the time, people are not yelling at you. It's a small amount of people. But it's developing the habit that, so when somebody punches you or kicks you, you're going to be able to block it instantly. And that's what she was referring to.
I love it. Yeah, it's like that. It's just like that happened in the movie, right? When Mr. Miyagi's like, whoa, and he blocked it. He's like, oh, where'd that come from?
Yeah, exactly. Like he's going fishing while what's his face is sitting there, washing all the cars and waxing and this and that. He's like, you're going fishing. I'm sitting here doing all this work.
Hey, man, I know I'm putting you on the spot here. Are you open to doing a role play for our listeners?
Okay, sure.
All right, awesome. You can be the agent for the purposes of this podcast, all right? I'll be an expired, all right?
Okay. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, I'm not sure if you can help me or not. I was calling about the home on 123 Main Street. Is that still available?
Are you another real estate agent?
I am. I was looking at, my name is Todd. I'm with Keller Williams. I was looking at the home online, and are you guys still trying to sell the home?
Man, we've had like 8 agents call us, and just in the last day and a half, it's absurd. No, I mean, we took the house off the market.
Oh, gosh, I know that can be frustrating. Just out of curiosity, what do you think has stopped the home from selling?
Man, I think it's agents. Every agent that come over here, they excuse this, that, price is too high. They're just sick and tired of this. I don't know. I think we're done. We're just done with the process. So can you tell your office to take us off the list, will you?
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? I totally get it. I work with a lot of these people, so I understand your frustration. Where were you guys trying to move to?
We were moving down to Boca Raton, Florida, but why? I mean, why is that important?
Man, what is special about that down there? Are you guys still interested in moving down there? I know this has been a frustrating ordeal, but I mean, if it made financial sense for you to put your home back on the market with a top agent like myself, would you consider it?
I mean, if I thought the house could sell, then I think I would probably put it back on the market. But at this point, from the feedback we've gotten from everything, I just don't see the house selling.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. What's so important about getting down to Boca?
Well, we like I said, we have a condo down there. We want to just get down there. We just don't want to deal with another winter up this way.
Oh, I know.
But ultimately, like I said, I think we're just going to hang tight and maybe look at doing things again next spring.
Sure. I don't blame you. So, if I had a buyer that was interested in your neighborhood, would you still want me to give you a call before next spring?
Well, I mean, if they were interested now, you mean, or what do you mean?
Yeah. No, I totally get that you're frustrated. If you wanted to wait, if you really do want to wait till next spring, I understand that because, I mean, moving is a hassle. And if you're not getting top dollar and you're dealing with, a lot of frustrating circumstances, then I can clearly understand that you'd like to wait till springtime. So if I had a buyer that was willing to possibly buy your home before that time, would you want me to give you a call?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you had a buyer, but I just don't want to waste time with all these agents coming in my house and telling me the house is, a piece of junk and all this other stuff. We don't want to deal with that.
I know. I get it. So why don't we do this? I mean, I sense there still is some desire to sell the home. Why don't you let me come by? Just take a look at the home. I don't want to obligate you or tie you down to anything, Mr. Hill. Let me just come by, look at the home, tell you what I think, and worst case scenario, at least I'll learn about the home for a potential buyer that we may have, and I, also just share with you some of the things that we do that's been so successful. How does that sound?
Well, I mean, if you want to swing by and take a look at the house, I'm fine with that. But like I said, I really don't want to try to pressure into any kind of a listing agreement.
No, and I wouldn't want to do that either. I would just like to come by, take a look at the house. We have a very proven and repeatable system, and I actually specialize in expired listings. I would just like to share with you what we do, look at the home for any potential buyers, and just, if it works, great. If not, that's okay too. I'm okay either way.
All right, yeah, why don't you stop by? That sounds good.
Great.
You are listening to One More Sale.
Todd, I appreciate you doing that. Like I said, we didn't plan that out. We didn't talk about that ahead of time. You nailed it. Thank you. You know what? One thing I love, too, is when listening to you, and I've taken this from you, is just how agreeable you are with the people. You know what I mean? And there's never like a condescending tone or a tone that you're talking down. I appreciate that. I understand. There's no obligation. I get it. And I love that because you really help people put their wall down. You know what I mean? That wall that they put up. So I think you do a tremendous job with that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Appreciate you sharing that. So let's talk about that now, the next step, where, okay, now you set that appointment. It was kind of just a laid-back appointment. Like, there's no obligation. I'm coming by. Yeah. I'll take a look. Then what's the next step? What do you do? When you show up, what does that look like?
Okay, well, before we show up, we do another pre-qualification call just to make sure we're still good to come out and meet.
Well, what does that call look like?
So it's a little different than our normal, hey, we definitely want to list our house call, just to make sure we're still good. The plans haven't changed. Tommy, make sure they got our information that we sent them, because I will send them a pre-list package. We've been hand-delivering them, which seems to work really well lately, just to make sure they got that, see if they have any questions or, if I can pick up any objections before I get over there to work on.
Okay, got it. All right, perfect. So it's not your full-fledged, when I show up today, if you feel comfortable and confident, you plan to list with me or sign the listing with me.
I'm not going down that road with them.
Not that long.
Yeah, I just get over there and build rapport with them and determine their motivation. I mean, you can tell if people really want to sell or something has come up to where they don't want to, something they can't sell, or you get over there and their mother-in-law or somebody has had something they're very close. If they've had some kind of condition that you can't control, then at least you determine that at that time. But a lot of times, the people they start opening up more once you're there. Well, how much do you think the house is worth? Oh, well, gosh, I can do it a couple ways. I'll be prepared, but then I'll say, I really wasn't prepared to talk about listing the home. But if you guys, want to sit down and do that, let me go out to my car and get some stuff, and we can take a look at it.
Love it. And then what? Then the appointment. So that's your appointment, and then a follow-up process. Let's say you meet with me, and Todd, I really appreciate you coming over. You seem like a good guy. Definitely going to list with you next spring. Mm-hmm. If you do have a buyer in the interim, I'll sell. Then what happens?
Right. So then I'll go back to my office and put them in my database, and we have a board or basically we have a weekly team meeting where we talk about the potential listings or properties that we have that are on the market to share with our buyer's agents, and we try to mix and match properties that we have like are in the pipe per se with our team to see if we can make something happen that way, and then just put them back in the database and keep following up with them.
I love that. That's a great idea, man. Having that board of like future listings coming.
Yeah, like wants and needs type thing, right?
That's really tremendous. Great. And then it's just a follow-up. Now, do you call any more frequently, or what does that look like? Are you calling?
Yeah, Yep, I just call and check in, say, hey, I just call to check in to make sure you're still on track for next spring. Have you been following the market? I'll just kind of make small talk, or I'll start to develop a history of what's going on. So we'll have things to talk about. Just saying. So it's just not really about real estate. I'm trying to make it more about them and their situation.
So when they're ready to list, the reality is they're going to think about you, no matter what. We're not saying you're definitely going to get the listing 100%, but you'll be on the top of their list. That's for certain.
Well, I hope I at least get an A for effort.
It sounds like it, my friend. And I know you do tremendous anyway, so I'm sure you're getting an A+ for effort. So when people hear about this, like what we just talked about, this whole process, mm-hmm. What are some of the other people's, misconceptions about, I don't know about all that. And what do you hear? Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, a lot of times people could say, well, that could be a waste of time. You could spend, you go on a definite listing appointment. But the way our market is here in Atlanta, inventory has been extremely low for a while, and our market is shifting. So, this is a business. Our business is relationships. It's getting into a relationship with people. And another agent of mine likes to kid around in our office. We call it getting belly to belly with the people. That if you're not out there, or you can stay locked up in your office all day long making calls, but at some point you have to get out and get in front of the people. Mm. So this is another opportunity, because if you get face to face with somebody, the conversations are a little more different than just on the phone.
I love that.
I am selective to the people that I go out, but it's still you have to get out and get in front of people to develop the relationship.
Yeah, that's a huge takeaway, and I hope everybody listening to this really gets that. And Bob Lucido actually said the same thing. Bob Lucido, you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
He said that at least 2 times on our interview, that you need to get belly to belly with people.
Yeah, I'm hot on his tail. Tell him to look out.
Yeah, man. He you know what he always says, right? He goes, I had no problem with you being second. He says that.
That's right.
I love that. And Jeff Glover honestly said the exact same thing as well when I interviewed him. He said, we used to do this really hardcore pre-qual, but we've kind of loosened that up a bit because the inventory is so low, and you just need to really start getting in front of people now.
Yeah. Yeah, they're getting bombarded with calls and flyers and mailers, and, if you can just get your foot in the door, and even with the for sale by owners doing previews, and I had another coach one time, he said, if you can't get an appointment, go do 2 previews a day. With for sale by owners or expires or whatever it is, you got to get out there and get face to face with these people.
Absolutely, my friend. What's your biggest challenge right now, Todd?
My biggest challenge, I would say, finding talented people. I've been very fortunate, and I've grown my team, and my goal now, I'm still doing listings and I'm still prospecting, but I'm also still searching for talent. So trying to shift my mindset, I guess, on business growth. Because I've always been self-employed, so I've always had that drive to, I could probably work 24 hours if it was necessary, but luckily it's not necessary. So, switching from the going after listing mindset to growing a business to, searching for talent more.
Yeah, that's the huge one. That's the magic one, my friend, that we're all looking for the answer to. So I think it's just a constant, like anything else. It's just showing up every day and committing to it. Lead generation for talent.
Yep. Put it in your calendar.
Well, let me ask you this question. Based on what you know today, what would you have done different now going back, say, 5 years ago when you started real estate?
I would have hired my admin like the second day in the job. I waited. See, I ran a company. I already knew what my weaknesses were, and I'm not the detailed person. So I waited a few months to hire my admin. And I didn't have the money, by the way. I went and got a line of credit, and I knew that's keeping up with the transactions and things like that were was my weakness. So I would say anybody that wants to grow fast or grow to a level where they can have a quality of life, because if you're doing, you could do 100 transactions all by yourself, but what kind of life is that?
What would you say is the one thing, I've kind of been closing now, Todd, if there was one thing that made you successful, what is it?
The one thing that has made me successful is listening to smart people like you, being open to coaching, really. Just doing it,
I certainly appreciate that compliment, my friend. I know I can say from experience, I've coached. I'm newer to actually coaching. I've done a ton of training, as you know. I've coached about a handful of people so far, and you are one of a few that actually do. When you say you're going to do something, it gets done 97% of the time, or you have a really damn good reason why it didn't get done. That's ultimately why I believe you're successful, my friend.
Just do it. Isn't that a saying somewhere? Just do it.
So when times get tough and you're dealing with challenges, what do you do to stay focused and just keep moving forward?
I think I just try to shut out all the noise. I'm very comfortable on the phone, so I go hide somewhere and make phone calls. I don't know what else to do but that. You could take that and go anywhere in the world and develop a business fairly quickly. Forget about all the stuff. Stay focused on developing, getting new business, and things will work out.
Yes, sir. Any books you want to recommend? What books or what book would you recommend and why?
So I'm just about done with Simon Sinek.
Start with Why?
Start with Why, yes.
Phenomenal. That
has been a very good book to help me work on, with my team, developing the vision and our core values. That really will help you and guide you when you're developing a team on the standards, the type of people that you're looking for. And I'm using that to really bind the team together, because it's about the team is what it's about. And having people with the same core values and vision is what's going to grow the team, because you got to have a team to do it.
This is One More Sale.
If you're anything like me and you love podcasts, I guarantee you're going to love audiobooks. And Audible.com is the largest resource of audiobooks. I'm super excited about my partnership with Audible.com, where I can offer you a free audiobook. All you have to do is simply go to www.davidsfreebook.com and sign up, and you get yourself a free book. Yes, absolutely free, never charged, no membership. If you love the service, then obviously continue using it, but this is completely free. You can get a free copy of the book we talked about today by going to davidsfreebook.com and download your free copy today. How do you beat that?
You are listening to One More Sale with your host, David I. Hill, author of the Sales Playbook. Get your copy at www.thesalesplaybook.net.